Hello everyone, welcome to Stamping Flair. This is Rochelle Laird Smith and I'm an independent stamping art demonstrator in Melbourne. This is my weekly Facebook Live. I call it my creative escape. It's my midweek escape. So thanks for joining me, and I'm just going to give a few seconds for everyone to find me and hop on. Hope you have had a good week, and today I'm sharing a project with you with the a bit of a mix of it's a Christmas project, but I'm also using the Ever Eden Designer Series paper from the Eden's Garden collection. So I hope you will stick around and see what I have to share with you. I am sharing a variation of a card that will be going live on my blog this evening at 9 o'clock. So if you want to see more like it, make sure you check out my blog post at 9. This is a variation of that. So the Eden's Garden collection is out of catalog release. So what that means is, sorry, I've just gonna get my camera going on the other side. It has stopped working. So Eden's Garden collection, as I said, is an out of catalog release. So what that means is that we have, on occasion, Stampin' Up! will release products or collections that through the year. So we have 3 main catalogs through the year, and we've got one coming out this month as well. So this is one of those, and with the Eden's Garden collection you get a stamp and a die set. Now that's a bundle. If you buy it as together, you save 10%. Now that's going to carry over into our mini catalog, which runs from January to June. However, the other products that go with it, which is the designer series paper, they're 12 by 12 specialty paper. You've got some cotton paper, some embellishments. Now they are not going to carry over. They are while supplies last until January 2nd by memory. So if there's products till then, they're available for sale, but if they sell out prior, they will be gone. So I'm going to use the designer series paper today and make a Christmas card. And just gonna see who's with me. Thanks for joining me. I do appreciate you and appreciate your time. Hi Tanya, so good to see you. Thanks for joining me. And if you watch me on replay later on, and you're watching me on YouTube, please say hi as well and comment. I do love to see your comments. Okay, so I'm going to turn the camera around, and what you will see when it turns around is my stamp apparatus, because that's what I am going to be using today. First up, I'm going to be using 2 stamp sets. I'm just getting my stuff ready. So this is my stamp apparatus, and it is Stampin' Up! Stamp Positioning Tool, and it assists with stamping. It is great for doing some techniques where you want to create patterns, but it's also great for doing multiple projects. So it comes with 2 plates at one, so they come off like that, and there's 2 that go, and so in essence you have got 4 surfaces, 1, 2, and then the other one 3 and 4. It helps you do multiple projects. So if you are doing Christmas cards, for instance, and are doing 20 of the same, you can place your cardstock, move it around, move the next one in, and your stamp will be ready to go. So there's no doubting where it's gonna stamp. The other thing it's good for is if you use it for any stamping or for sentiments in particular. If you miss a sentiment, sometimes when you stamp you might miss a part, you can go over, and by re-stamping it, it'll stamp and you won't have to waste cardstock and things like that. So I'm pretty much using it in that manner today. And I've got a piece of cardstock bigger than what I require, and it's quite bigger, and we are using this Festive Foliage stamp. It's a nice background image. I'm not going to be using the entire image, but I'm going to be inking up the entire image, and we'll cut down what we require. Please ask me any questions as we go along. Any questions about the stamp apparatus. If you don't know want some information about that, I'm happy to help you. So to start with, I'm going to use Versamark. Versamark ink pad is a gluey ink pad, so when you stamp ink up your stamp with that, it helps embossing powder stick to the ink, and then you can heat emboss. You can also use it for techniques like just stamping with it onto cardstock, and it just gives like a watermark effect. So what I have done, put this a stamp case just under, just to keep it level, otherwise it goes down like that. So just to help me ink it up, I'm just keeping it like that, and I'm inking up with Versamark. And I've lost the camera here, so just bear with me. We will be back soon. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so then just gonna move this down a touch, or maybe up there, trying to get it out of the way. That magnet will hold everything in place, and I will move that away. So my cardstock is way bigger than what is required, so I can I didn't stamp because I didn't have the magnet on the right place. Never mind, we'll see. I might flip that round because it should, if I had the cardstock in the right spot, it should stamp in the right place. Let's see. If not, we can flip it over. And I think, oh, it was right. I'm just gonna move that down. Yep. You might struggle to see what I'm doing there, but I'm just gonna move that. So what I normally do is have the cardstock right in the corner. So then you can realign it easily. And you can see I'm going over this. Now because I haven't got the magnet, it is likely that I may have moved this, so I'm just going to have a quick look. I'm just going to be safe and redo it. I think it's slightly up. I'm going to cut that cardstock a little bit bigger. We'll try again, because I think I want it. What I'll do is cut it in half. That's easier. Then it gives me a bit more space to put that magnet on. That's it. Alright, here we go again. So it's always good to have a little bit longer, and mine was a touch short for that magnet. So then it can sit flat up. And with one pass should do, but I want to make sure that that Versamark is nice and gives a nice image. So I'm going to go another round, or maybe even a couple, so that that embossing powder is going to stick really well. And you do have to give a little bit more press here on this side, purely because it's the hinges are there. Now for instance, if I didn't use the stamparatus, if I stamped this and moved it away, I wouldn't be able to re-stamp it. And I'm gonna go again. My ink pad's not that inky either. I just re-inked it a little bit, but not much. So Versamark can be re-inked, the Versamark ink pad. It's a clear liquid that comes. Alright, that looks good. Yeah, I'll just show it to you, so you may be able to see that, just that faint image there. So what we will do is get our embossing powder, and I've just got some scrap cardstock there, and we're going to put some gold embossing powder on it. I didn't put my embossing buddy, which is like just a talco powder on it, just to stop the static, but because it's such a large image and quite a detailed image, it's okay. And I brought the embossing buddy as well. Just forgot about it. So you can see where that where we put the Versamark, the embossing powder has stuck on. I'm just tapping out the excess. I missed a bit there, but we'll be right with that. I only need a piece that is, I'll show you I'm just die cutting that amount, so that'll do. If you needed a larger piece, yes, we would need to fix that, and really you could fix that, because once you heat emboss it, you can just trying to get that bit off. Once you heat emboss it, you can go back and do it again. That's the beauty of the Stamparatus. To get my little brush, try and get those bits off. Now, if I used my embossing buddy, that would have stopped all that, but I didn't. You know me, I always forget the embossing buddy. If you watch me enough, you know I forget that all the time. This comes up really nice, this stamp set, when embossed in gold. It would come up great in any embossing, but because of the detail on it, sorry, this is taking a little bit of time. I guess this is probably our main section, so. Alright, let's bring our heat gun. I'm just giving it a heat. I've just got it off camera and just heat that up, and you will see that working. Just once over there, making sure I've got everything. That looks pretty, doesn't it? Comes up well. Get rid of this embossing powder before it goes everywhere. I just got myself a lint remover for the craft room, because I think that'll help keep all those embossing powders and things off my desk. Helps with cleanup. So now what I'm going to do is bring in my stamping cut and emboss machine, and we're going to die cut this just with that stitch rectangle die. Obviously I've missed some bits there, but there's enough there, and you can even enough for a little bit of a border if you wanted to. I'm going to be doing some coloring, so I don't want to color more than I need to if I don't have to. So I'll die cut what I need. It doesn't matter if you color extra. Run it through a couple of times. It's a bit of a racket because mine's a bit, you can see my plates are a little bit bendy, and so as it goes through, it makes a big noise. So we've got a nice little die cut element there. What we'll do now, we're going to color that in. So I've got a mix of colors and I'm not sure what's going to go, and so I thought, oh, we'll just see. We'll play around, and it's good to play around sometimes and see what actually works. And so I've got some evening evergreen, I've got soft succulent. So these are our stamping blends, which are our alcohol markers. I've thrown in some Just Jade for some contrast and some soft sea foam. So we'll see how this color scheme goes. I know for certain they all go together at some point, but the Just Jade, I've just wanted to see it for a change. And so I'm going to start with soft succulent on actually I will start with the light evening evergreen. So our alcohol markers, they come in the light shade and a dark shade, so it's quite easy to work around. So when you color in those lines that you have created with the embossing, it's like coloring in it, just go in those lines. So it's pretty easy, and it will pretty much resist that. It won't go over the embossing, so it resists that. The embossing resists the color, so you won't be able to. Now the reason why you can slightly see that is because I didn't have an embossing on there. We're just going to color this, and it's just giving you a hint of color, because obviously there's a lot of embossing going on there, so there'll be minimal color that will be visible. So I'm just using the bullet tip of this. For this bit that went over the line, so to speak, there's no line, but I'm just gonna use my color lifter, and this is like works like an eraser, and we'll just take that off a little, wait a little, and I'll work on that again. Now again, I'll go on all these little leaves with the light evening evergreen. It's very shiny. I'm gonna bring in the light evening evergreen here, and I'm just going to do a little bit at the bottom of those leaves. I'll try the dark Just Jade. I think it'll go, just bring a bit of richness to this. That comes up really nice. I like that. I sound surprised. I just like that color scheme. It looks really nice. So we're just doing the light evening evergreen again. And the dark Just Jade. You obviously can play around with whatever colors you like. So go over the other color just to blend it, because the colors will nicely blend. That's the niceness of our stamping blends and alcohol markers. They're really nice like that. Now I'm gonna go with some dark Just Jade here, and you can go over the gold. It doesn't matter, because the gold will resist that color. Or it kind of, you can see a little bit, but it doesn't. You can go over embossing powder with the color, but it doesn't really matter with the gold. You can still see the gold is bright enough to stand out, so I don't really fuss too much. With the lights going on this, it's hard to see it because the gold's really shiny. I love this stamp set. I just got it and it's so sweet. Really nice stamp set. Let us bring in some, maybe some light as well, and then we can bring in another color there just for some variation. So it just depends where you, which part of the image that you have colored, you will end up with different leaves and such. So now I'm using light evening evergreen because I did want a little bit more depth on that. Go back with light Just Jade. You can see I haven't planned this. I am just going with whatever I think will look nice, and you can do that too. Mix your colors up. Alright, so now I've got the light Just Jade. I'm going to bring in here these little guys. I'm going to color it in. These little leaves. Oh, I missed that one, didn't I? So let's go back with the dark. Did you see that? I said, Rochelle, you missed that one. So this leaf is a bit different because I just felt like it. You can get away with creative stuff. You can just do whatever you like. So the Eden's Garden collection is $144 for the entire collection. So you get this bundle, which is the stamp set and the die set, 12 sheets of 12 by 12 specialty paper, and you get the cotton paper and the embellishments. So all $140. So that's good value in itself. Plus, if you do use our current joining special, you get even more value. I'll just tell you about it in a second. Our joining special is $130, so it's even, yeah, 130. So it's even less than the cost of the Eden's Garden collection. So for 130, you can select $235 worth of product. So you can include the $140 Eden's Garden collection. You could include this Festive Foliage stamp set and a whole lot of other stuff. So you basically only you get $105 worth of free product. Trying to see which we need to do another one of those other leaves there. So that's dark soft sea foam, and I'm just going to leave that as is on the holly because I just like that lightness there, and just for a difference. If that's something you like, if you craft stuff, you buy a lot, or it's worthwhile thinking about, because then you're going to get 20% off all your products after that. One more leaf to color. It's a whole lot of gold lines, and sometimes I do miss that. As you have seen, I've done a bit here today. But these are really pretty leaves. So a bit of the dark evening evergreen here. And going back to dark Just Jade. And we're blending that in. And when you're not using your stamping blends, make sure you close them so they don't dry out. just fill in the blanks here where I need to, and one here. Usually the next one. Here we that one. Okay, so we've got our main image. That's our main image done. So as it dries out, you will see some bits that I missed. We can go back over, and if you want to do more blending, you can with stamping blends. Now you can see some line there. I will just go back and blend that in, just so it's nice. Okay, so that's my main image done. So how you want which way you want it, we can do that. Now I have pre-cut, pre-die cut from brushed metallic cardstock. So we've got a set of brushed metallic cardstock to lay this on. So that's using the same stitch rectangles, and I think that goes really well with that. Just love the look of that brushed metallic. I've got a basic white card base. Now I'm going to see what I like better, whether I want that side, or whether I want a completely different piece of paper. Sometimes it's when you color it in, you go, oh, maybe not. I don't mind that. Let's see some opinions. You guys tell me, what do you think? I've got some different paper here. Let's have a look. So number one, I think that might be a little bit busy. So we got that. That's quite nice. Maybe, but maybe a little plain. We got that. That's on the other side. Oh, we got that. That's nice. What we got? This one's nice too. Oh, that's nice too, isn't it? What do we choose? Hey, Sue. Sue, saying good morning. Where are you watching from, Sue? Thanks for joining us. I might go with, what do you think? Any opinions? What do you like? Which paper we like? Do we like this one? Do we like that one? Or that one? I'm kind of leaning towards this. I think it's quite a nice depth, but I don't know. Let's try that. So we'll just cut it full cut towards the full card base. So it's 10.5 by 14.8 centimeters. It's pretty paper, isn't it? Oh, from Wisconsin. Lovely to see you here. Thanks for joining me. Is it cold there, Sue? We've got a bit more heat embossing to do, but for now, I will do that. I think this paper is really good even for, I think I'll use the other side. It's nice even for, I think for masculine cards, that would work so well. So it's not just Christmassy. Well, the stamp set's not Christmassy at all. So it is encompassing other seasons. I might need another glue. I'll chuck that one out. It's funny, at class on Saturday we kept going, okay, this one doesn't work, we've been out of class for so long. Okay, that's gone and that's gone. Get out all the new glues. it has a bit of a linen feel, like a look to it when you look at it up front. You love the DSP, Sue? Yes. It is pretty, isn't it? It's cold, very cold. Oh, we've had an odd kind of day. It's supposed to be summer, but I think this week is reasonably cold. I don't know what's going on, but it's a bit weird. So I've just put dimensionals on the back of that piece we colored. Now I'm going to bring in, so we'll tie this in with some of this ribbon. This is the chevron weave, but I already had a piece cut, so we'll use that. I'll just add a tear and tape there. We've got lots of greens in our range, don't we? So it's good to have lots of variety. Okay, and then I like my layers, so I am going to do this, and I tend to do this with cardstock as well as ribbon, so I do some layering there. So get a bit of this soft succulent ribbon. So that's the there, but I'll add a little bit of tear and tape at the back on that, just to make sure that it doesn't come out and it sticks nicely. So that ties in your colors from the back as well. Now I'll put some dimensionals on the back of this piece, and let's add a couple in the center here, just to make sure that it doesn't sink in if anything is on top of it. When we post it out, do I want it that way, or do I no, I think I'll have it this way. Alright, so now for the sentiment, I'll just bring in the rest of my cardstock. I am going to use the Christmas to Remember stamp set, and we'll just do some heat embossing again, just to tie it all in. I'm just use my embossing buddy this time because I forgot last time, and that should assist with my I just hold it, let the embossing powder sit there for a few seconds instead of just tapping it right out. So I think sometimes it does help catch on to the embossing powder a little bit better. That's just what I do. So we'll bring back in our heat tool, give it a heat on setting 2. when you're embossing, just make sure you turn the cardstock a little bit, because sometimes when you turn it, you'll capture in the light which bits that haven't been embossed. It just gives you a better view. This is from the seasonal labels. And we'll just die cut that. I've got a busy weekend. We as demonstrators, we get the opportunity to go to what is called Onstage, which is a conference, and it's online. So tomorrow we're meeting, a few of us, and Friday and Saturday, tomorrow evening and Friday and Saturdays, to enjoy that. Even though it's online, we're still together, so that will be good. So looking forward to some time with fellow demonstrators, and sharing some laughs and seeing a new catalog and product, and it'll be fun. That's something else we get to enjoy as demonstrators, seeing things early. So that's a nice little label. You get a good selection in that seasonal labels dies, which is a nice bunch of dies. I'm always into those labels and things like that because they offer you so much possibility. Going to do some blending because I love blending, and I'm working out which color to use. So we'll go with the Evening Evergreen and maybe some thinking. No, we'll go Shaded Spruce. So it's going to sit like that. We might just have it on the corner there. So I'm going to bring in Soft Succulent. Did I say Shaded Spruce before? No, Evening Evergreen and Soft Succulent. Just thinking what I said earlier. Sometimes what comes out of the mouth is not what I was thinking. Just going to do the two sides. And then we will go with the Evening Evergreen. So it is a bit, it's obviously a little bit darker, so tap off the excess. And you can see I was a bit heavy handed there, so I'll try and blend that in. I slicked. We'll work around it. My famous words, will work around it. So it just adds a little bit of color, so you don't have to add heaps, but it's just enough. And we will put some dimensionals, cut these off. I always use the ends of this, but at the moment our dimensionals are not orderable, so save up every bit. They are good. They are that good that they're not there. Okay, so then got some of this Simply Elegant trim. So I will take probably about roughly just 40 centimeters or so. That's about how much I use my ribbon. And generally I leave it on the roll when I tie it, but because I'm using two, I'm taking it off. So just align both your pieces together. And sometimes a little bit tricky. You can do a double bow if you want. And I probably have way too much, but you know me, I like a little bit. I can do an extra ball. I was thinking maybe I will do a double ball. Let's see how that goes. I wanted to keep it simple without adding to confusion. Okay, so I'm just doing 2 figure eights here. That's all I'm doing. So like that. And then to make life easier for myself, instead of trying to hold and tie it around, I just bring another piece. And you could do this with even I'm trying to get the word twine. See how this works. What I did for my last one, I took the chevron ribbon and I pulled threads out of it and used it for my twine. So I could get okay, so then you can adjust it. So all I did was 2 figure eights, and then I held it together with my finger and just tying it up. Then you can cut off excess as required. I just find that easier than trying to tie it within this bow itself. Glue dot. I might put a couple because there's a bit going on with that ribbon. So there. This elegant trim sometimes has a mind of its own. Just trim it to whatever length you like. I left it a fair bit of length there, but you don't have to have that much. You can trim it down. It just adds some fullness to your ball, and looks nice. We'll bring in some gilded gems. Put that in the center. And the golds kind of match, because you can have different types of gold. They kind of all go together. And that's our card. If you wanted to, like if you had stamped extra, you could cut that strip, which I probably would, and I'll be coloring that and just inserting that on the inside. You could put that in the envelope. So that's something you could do, or add some designer series paper. I hope you've enjoyed that card. Oh, thanks, Sue. Sue said it's very nice. Thank you. I appreciate it. Hope you have enjoyed it and liked the idea. you could change the designer series paper. Try it with a different collection or a different suite. Just use the same layout, make your life easy. And if you don't want to do all that coloring, just swap that out for another piece of designer series paper. So you just die cut that, or cut it with a trimmer with another piece of designer series paper. You could trim it, swap it for something like that, and it'll still work. So do what works for you, and what makes your life easy, and what you get enjoyment out of. Oh, thanks, Alana. I appreciate that. Thank you. If you would like to order the products, I will have the link up for you for ordering, or I can help you. Just give me a call and I'm happy to assist you with that. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have a great rest of the week, everyone. Bye bye.